What's up everyone, Godzilla vs. Kong just released, so does it live up to the hype with these two titans fighting it out? Let's find out. Real quick, this video is going to have spoilers for the movie, so this is a spoiler review. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, comment down below, let me know what you thought of the movie. Anyways, let's get on with the review. So essentially, the premise of this movie, obviously, aside from it being Godzilla vs. Kong as advertised, the human characters on Earth, or this group, thinks there's this hollow Earth where the monsters live, inside Earth. They want to bring Godzilla there because he's wreaking havoc and stuff, and they don't want Godzilla living with them or something. So they're going to use Kong to kind of lure him there, I guess, and lure him to this hollow Earth area, and that's how they're going to deal with the situation. I think that's how I took it. So that was the premise of what set up Kong versus Godzilla. There's also this robot Godzilla in there and stuff. But let's be honest, we're all here for Kong versus Godzilla. None of us actually care about the plot here. I was pleasantly surprised by the plot. I thought it was a little better than I would have expected for a movie like this. But anyways, it's all about the fight between them. So how was it? So overall, I thought this movie was decent. For me, it just didn't live up to the hype that this movie had around it. We definitely did get to see them fight in the movie. I just can't say that there was enough fighting in it. They fought twice in the movie, and both times it just felt kind of watered down for me for separate reasons. It was predictable that they're going to team up by the end of the movie to fight a bigger threat. Everybody saw that coming. But for me, that was part of the reason why the fight just wasn't that great for me. Because it just takes away from the value of them fighting, knowing that they're going to have to fight this bigger threat and that none of them are going to die. The fight just didn't feel like it had any stakes. It didn't feel like we were going to have a definitive winner or that either Kong or Godzilla was going to die. It just felt like they were fighting, fan service, we get to see them fight. And other than that, that's all it was. And then they fought this big robot guy, and then they killed this big robot guy, and then they went separate ways, and that was the movie. I wish there was more than that. I didn't like that. For me, their fight just served to set up this fan service fight against the robot monster where they're teaming up. So that was a letdown for me. I don't mind them teaming up. I just wish it was done better and that they focused more on Godzilla versus Kong fighting. It's the same thing with Batman versus Superman. It just wasn't focused enough on Batman versus Superman fighting. Same exact issue here. Don't get me wrong, the fights were cool and everything. All the movies in this franchise, the fights always are really cool. But I thought the one halfway through with in the water with all the ships and stuff, the first time Kong and Godzilla fought, I thought that was kind of lame, and it just didn't really satisfy me. I know it was kind of teasing them fighting, but we only got one fight until the final act, and it was that fight, and it just wasn't that visually appealing. But overall, the fights were still nice, especially the whole final act was just really visually pleasing to look at. And the fights obviously entertaining, just big monsters fighting each other, destroying cities. That's fun to watch, and I was pleased by that aspect of the movie. The CGI obviously is really good in here. It's really amazing how good the CGI is. I've said it with every single one of these movies, but it really is. Although I did think Kong looked weird at times. There were some shots where he just didn't look like King Kong. He just looked like this gorilla. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it was just me, but I thought he looked weird at times. Other than that, the CGI is amazing as usual. The biggest flaw in this movie for me though was just the human characters, which is kind of as usual with the MonsterVerse movies. But of all of the MonsterVerse movies, for me, this one had by far the worst and most unintriguing human characters so far. And that was even magnified by the fact that they were in this movie so much. Especially the plot with the characters from King of Monsters, like 11 from Stranger Things. That plot just didn't lead anywhere. All it did was introduce us to the metal Godzilla monster thing. Other than that, it just didn't lead anywhere in the movie. And it kept showing it extensively. And I just didn't ever care about it. That was really the case for all the human plots. They just did a terrible job with blending the monster fights with the human characters and their arcs. And especially so for this one. I think the MonsterVerse movies have always struggled with it. Godzilla is my personal favorite because I thought it did it the best. And that's a very crucial aspect for me when it comes to these movies, because I like this human elements. I like how humans react to these situations. I think that's intriguing. It's relatable because, humans, I'm a human, right? But that's important to me when it comes to these movies, and 3 out of the 4 for them have been a huge letdown when it comes to that. And even Godzilla did struggle with it, with just having characters that just were boring. And so that's easily been the biggest issue with this entire franchise. And it's, for me, that issue is magnified in this one. Like, I just didn't care about the human characters in this one. And for me, it just dragged down the movie, and honestly dragged on the movie. The movie felt way longer than it was for me, especially a movie that's just supposed to be non-stop entertainment. It didn't feel like that for me. It felt like just boring scene after boring scene, a fight, then another boring scene, and then the big final act. Like, honestly, I have no idea what any of the characters' names were in this movie, aside from Kong and Godzilla. I have literally no idea what their names were. And if they were even said, I have no idea. On the positive note, I thought the setup for the fight was pretty cool, with them using Kong to lure Godzilla into this, like, Hollow Earth area. I thought that was a clever concept on how they were going to set up the fight. But the issue with that was there was just no tension between Godzilla and Kong, aside from, they both want to be like king of the monsters or whatever. But other than that, there was just no tension between them. So I just thought the fights felt very flat for me. And I guess this was always going to be an issue because they can't talk. So you really just have to appreciate the spectacle of it. But for me, I wanted more. I wanted them to have reasons to hate each other somewhat, like just some backstory or something, just to help us understand why these characters don't like each other a little more, other than they just want to be king of the monsters or something. I really like the Hollow Earth stuff. About halfway through the movie when King Kong got there, I thought it looked really cool. It just looked really. I love this kind of unurbanized world, unhumanized world, really, with all these monsters and stuff. It looked really cool. I hope in the future we have another movie that's on this Hollowed Earth. I thought it was really cool. It kind of reminded me of Avatar or something. It looked really cool visually, and just the concept's really cool. I think having this inner Earth inside Earth that's just a really awesome concept. That was really cool. But why wasn't the final fight down there? The final fight was in Hong Kong. Which honestly I didn't like, because my enjoyment of the final fight was dampened by the fact that they were destroying Hong Kong and likely killing thousands of innocent people just during this entertaining fight for us. And it's also in part from the director, because he kept showing humans running from the fight, which just reminds you that people are dying during this, and that just, I want to have fun watching these people fight. I don't want to think about innocent people in Hong Kong dying during this fight. So I don't know. I don't like that. This movie couldn't really decide whether it wanted to be more on the drama side. Like if you look at 2014 Godzilla, it's much more of a drama, much more of a realistic take, or Kong Skull Island, where it's very much just pure entertainment. It's all about the entertainment value. It really had a hard time picking what side it wanted to be on there. And really just ended up in the middle, where it really felt unfocused on and really knowing what it wanted to be. But overall, I didn't hate this movie. I just didn't love it. The action was awesome, as you expect. The CGI was terrific. And honestly, I do get why so many people liked it. It was entertaining. If you wanted just to see an entertaining fight between the two of them, I think it delivered on that. I thought the scenes in between were boring for me. I thought overall the movie was just kind of bland and slow moving. But I could understand why you may have liked it. But just for me, as a monster movie, it didn't really work, and there was a lot of issues. And for me, it's hard to look past those issues. But really, Godzilla vs. Kong, it's more of a disappointment than an actual bad movie. It's not terrible. It is watchable for sure. So I'm gonna give it a D+ and a 62%. But overall, this movie was just a letdown for me. So that will do it for my review for Godzilla vs. Kong. Did this movie live up to the hype for you? Let me know down below. For me personally, it did not live up to the hype. Anyways, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and have a great day.